Hello, listeners of the Art Versations podcast. How's it going today? Are you feeling any creative blockages keeping you from making art? This is Art Versations, a meditative conversation about the artistic process. If you are just tuning in for the first time, this podcast is for unblocking those creative blocks and letting the juices just flow out. I'm your host, Bri, like the cheese. Thank you so much for clicking on this show and being a part of this community. Please stick around. We are just over halfway through this season, so feel free to go listen back to the first half of guests. I'm thrilled to bring you the rest of the season, as I think you'll really enjoy who's coming up next. So please subscribe and follow so you don't miss out. And check out the YouTube channel for highlight clips. I've broken down each episode into chapters of about 5 minutes. So if you want to just listen to a small clip, go over to the YouTube channel. To quote Jake Peralta, cool. All right, so this week's guest is a longtime friend of mine. I caught this dancer, actor, singer, songwriter while she was visiting Toronto. She's regularly based in New York, but she just put out her debut EP called Night Before, which is available to stream on all platforms right now. The bulk of this episode is breaking down the songs and the music videos, and she opens up about the process of finishing the EP and how difficult it was to let it out into the public after working on the songs for so long. I was so inspired by what she shared, especially as a writer myself. So settle in with some coffee or a nice coloring book. Here is episode 6 of season 4 with Giulia D'Angelo.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so excited.
Speaking of not knowing what you're doing,
yeah,
I want to talk a little bit
about it.
I mean, that's all artists, right?
Yeah.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Giulia.
Hey, Brianna. Hey, Bri.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm really great. How are you?
Thank you for being here. I'm
Absolutely.
good. I feel really lucky to have you in my presence.
I'm really glad we can make this happen, and seeing your face is really nice too.
It's been
a really long time. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if maybe it was like last summer at RME.
It was. Yeah.
Jeez.
Which feels like 7 years ago.
Literally.
I think I've aged a lot.
So much has happened since then.
Yeah.
So many changes. Maybe for the good, though. I think
so. I don't know how you have felt, but I feel like the last few months I've kind of got the hang of like this new kind of lifestyle that we're all living, and I feel like I'm maybe adjusting in a good way and like making positive changes where I feel like all of the first, little bit of the pandemic was very like downhill. I feel like this is maybe a little bit more uphill, a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's like the avalanche is coming down.
Yeah,
but like I have really great snowshoes. Yeah. And I can
really good
weather the storm.
Yeah.
Even if I don't want to,
You have the tools to do so.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm gonna use that.
In some weird way, yeah. It's like we've all adjusted. Like, I mean, even for you, like living in New York City, like that's such an epicenter of like a lot of different art things. Yeah. Most of them theater based. But I wonder if like people are just determined to continue even still.
Yeah, I feel like people in New York are just very eager in general. And I mean, they picked back up pretty quickly, I would say. There was just like, I mean, New Yorkers don't really like to slow down in general. And so, yeah, life there, honestly, like, is pretty as it was, I would say.
Weird, eh?
It's very weird. It's like, I don't know how to feel about it. And then I come to Toronto and I'm like, what's going on? These are two, like...
It's so different.
Yeah.
Because we've been, like, stay at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
people have tried to.
I know,
some
like,
people have
FaceTime
tried
my
to
family.
stay.
They're like, we're in our 75th lockdown. I haven't left the house. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Like, literally, it's so bad. It's so depressing.
It is depressing. It is, and I feel for you guys. And New York is just really not that. And yeah, I mean, but like you said, like, theater really took a huge hit, and that is the one thing that I think has taken the longest to come back. Mm-hmm. It's just starting to come back. I haven't seen a live performance yet. I'm sure I will when I go back. Mm-hmm. But that's exciting.
Yeah, I miss it so much. Like, I miss being able to just go to New York and know that I could get a ticket for the night that same night that I was there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I mean, I don't know. We can talk about this maybe later too. But like, the shift, or like, how do you feel about the shift to Zoom theater and like that kind of stuff? What are your thoughts?
I just wrapped on like a Zoom play.
Okay.
And
where? What is it?
It was like a part of this production called Pandemic Play. So it was very much like written for Zoom.
Yeah.
It was written by my friend Sarah Gervais, and she produced it as well. And she was like, "Fuck Zoom theater, but I'm putting on a show." Like, it was very much like ironic.
Like, you want to keep doing something.
Exactly.
Like, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah. And I was helping to like movement direct it, and like. And like, I know nothing about film whatsoever, but the actress that I was working with was just so like, let's just make it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be weird and like probably not what we want to make, but in some ways it was just a really nice blessing of like something to work on. Yeah, I feel like that's the way that I've been approaching Zoom, is like, this isn't even for the audience anymore. Like, this is just for me to like do something and keep my practice going and like stay creative. Yeah. And it's really not about how it looks, because how it looks is not how I intended it to look. Yeah. Like, it's not going to be what I want it to be. No. And so I just have to think of it as like a constant rehearsal and like a practice for whatever it is that my art form, you know? Absolutely.
Which is weird, because you want to perform to like show people something and be like, look what I'm working on. But it's kind of like, almost don't watch, but like watch, I guess. I know. Like, support, but like don't. Like, it's not really what I intended. Please know that. Like, disclaimer. Yeah. Yeah, which is weird. Yeah, and like when it live streamed, because it was like a movie. Right. Like, I didn't tune in. Like, because like, I don't need to. Like, it's this weird thing of like, I don't know who watched it. Yeah. Did anyone watch it? You know, there's no audience there. Like, it's such it's hard to engage with the audience. It is without you know. I've seen a few because I graduated in May. Yes, and on Zoom. Jeez. Oh yeah, it was great. Didn't order my cap and gown, didn't send in a photo. I was so like disconnected from my graduation. I didn't even graduate, I swear. Feels that way. Yeah. That's the same for me. Yeah. But some people for their thesis did like an interactive Zoom play. Okay. Which I honestly thought was really interesting. Like, it was the only thing I've seen where I was actually engaged. Yeah. Because it's up to the audience to determine the outcome. Oh, fun! That like changes. So like alternate endings, basically. And stuff? Oh, I love that. Yeah, they did a really good job. I mean, it's still like Zoom, and so I was still like on my phone throughout and like getting distracted, which is just natural. It's hard to stay engaged, but at the same time, I was like, I actually have to participate. Which gave me, as an audience member, like a certain like power, which I liked. Okay. Which was just something interesting that I haven't seen before or since. Yeah. So, like, usually when we sit in the audience, we have to like shut up and watch. Yeah. So I guess you have that power. Yeah. It was cool. Especially having it for Zoom. It was kind of like, okay, well, we know that people aren't liking this, so like, what are we gonna do to make you? Yeah. Make you pay attention, basically. Right. It's always that like, constant, like, we need people to look. Yeah. Even if I didn't, even if I wasn't necessarily engaged with the story, which I was, I feel like even if I wasn't, I would still want to, like, do my part in a way. Like, I would want to, like, contribute to what the story was going to be. Yeah. I don't know. I was into it. So. Absolutely. I feel like that would be so fun because it like changes every night. Yes. Like or every showing, like kind of like a theater show. Mm-hmm. Exactly. With so much like unpredictability about it. That's really cool. Yeah. sorry, now you just said that. I feel like part of what's taken away from us when we do Zoom performance is there's a certain like predictability.
Yeah.
And so not having that makes you feel a little riskier, a little fun, a little more alive.
More juicy.
Yeah, more juicy.
Yeah. more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's so interesting. And I mean, so you graduated from the new school, right?
I did.
And was this like a 4-year program?
It was. It was a BFA like you.
Fantastic. Yeah. More focused on acting?
Acting was the main, and then all theater-based. It's a theater-based program. So
Fantastic.
it was acting, directing, writing, a little bit of creative technologies. And then my senior year, I branched out and I focused on film.
Love it.
So I actually kind of like shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I'm really happy about.
Smart.
Yeah.
Because that's everything right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I really fell in love with film. So I'm very glad that I kind of did that. Especially I just felt like, you know, we're in a pandemic. This is all online. What am I going to do that's going to engage me the most? And it's something that I have no idea about. I feel like if I had stayed in the theater realm, I would have got a little bit bored. And so I was like, I want to do something that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm going to figure it out. And so that was making a film for me. And so, yeah, I was really happy that I chose that route.
Yeah. A film for your thesis.
I made a film for my thesis. Yeah,
fantastic.
I made a short. And I released it technically in like May, but I'm not going to like publicly release it, I think, until maybe a few months. But
oh, sweet.
Yeah, but it's finished. It's done. Yeah. I would love to show you.
Like edited all by you and everything?
Yeah.
Because I know you've been editing some of your music videos too.
Yeah, I really love editing. I produced it, I wrote it, I directed it.
Wow.
I acted in it.
Wow,
I edited it.
Girl.
Yeah, it was a sort of like, how much can I do on my own without going a little insane, even though I did go a little insane.
Was your head heavy from wearing all those hats?
Yes, but it was good because I was like, I'm so I'm so amazed with myself that I'm able to wear all of these hats.
Totally.
I feel like pre-pandemic, I would have just been like, let me get someone to do this for me. But being alone and like isolated like we all were, I was like, I have to figure out how to do these things by myself. I mean, I guess I still could have asked for help, but it was more of like, I'm given the opportunity to do it on my own. Let me see if I can.
Wow.
And it did. Most of it. So
wow.
It was fun. It was, yeah. I definitely want to do it again. I don't know if I want to do it in the same, maybe not as much on my own, because it was a lot, but the same sort of mentality of like, I can do this.
Yeah, at least you know that you've done it once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I guess like you have the support of like your mentors and your professors.
Yeah.
too.
Oh my God, my professor was like the biggest mentor. I don't think I could have done it without him. So that was for sure.
I feel like that's what school's all about. It's kind of just like, what can I do, even if it's like really not my best work. Let's just like try.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. It was like, this is my thesis. This is school.
Yeah.
Like I'm not submitting. I don't have to submit this to anything or any place.
Very much an experiment.
It really gives you the opportunity to try and to fail. And it's okay to fail.
It's okay.
It really is.
Yeah, failing has been a big theme for this year for me, like personally, and wondering how those failures can actually turn into like adapting skills and like reflecting on why I failed in certain places and then improving upon like just those skills.
Right.
Because I think sometimes when I fail, I'm like, I can't do anything. Yeah. You know, like even if I'm just failing at like a certain, like a small little movement or like even just as my teaching practice, like, oh, I didn't really connect with that student or something like that. Like that doesn't mean that you're a failure. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Awful. Yeah.
It's been a lot of patience. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I did more of that in school, more like letting myself fail. I feel like there's a natural like competitive nature. I mean, even in Toronto you feel it, but like in New York I really felt that. Yeah. And that sort of, I found it almost a little bit limiting because obviously you don't want to lose, you don't want to like, you don't want to fail, essentially. Totally. You don't want to look like that person who can't do it versus all your other peers who can. And so I found that I grew the most my senior year. Like, in that year, I was like, I've gone to school 700 times is what it felt like. Because I didn't have anyone around me to, like, freak me out. You know?
That's so interesting.
So, which is, seems like the opposite. I feel like, you know, your peers help you grow. And they do. And, of course, like, I'm not saying that they didn't. It's just, it's easier to, like, get, I don't know, maybe get out of your head when you don't have people watching you all the time. Yeah. For me, at least, that's how it felt. And so I was doing everything on my own. I was in my room, and it was just very solo. And I think I needed that time to really be like, this is me. This is for me. And it's always for me. It just feels maybe different when there's other people around. Yeah. And so like learning to take that mentality out into the world when there are people, still knowing that it's you and it's for you, and totally the other people they fade away. You know? Just, you are, you know, I don't know.
The process, like, really, it's helpful when there's a lot of just, like, concentrated focus, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, it's different for each person, but I found that was something that really helped me.
That's a nice blessing, too, because I feel like Zoom school is just, like...
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of downsides. I'm not of course, for sure.
It's like having to turn on my laptop every day. I got out of school, like, just as the pandemic hit, so I was very lucky to just, like, bye, and, like, yeet out of there. But, like, I don't know, like, if I could just sit down every morning and, you know, pop open my screen and feel any kind of aliveness.
Yeah, no. It's really difficult.
It's fucked.
Yeah. It was depressing. It was honestly, like, if I didn't have this, like, film to look forward to, I
that kept you going.
It kept me going.
Fantastic.
For sure, it kept me going. Yeah. I was excited about it. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so excited.
Speaking of not knowing what you're doing, I want to talk a little bit about it. I mean, that's all artists, right? Yeah. But I want to talk a little bit about this 24-hour monologue that you did called Maya's Nostrils. It was written by India Kotis.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was watching it and you know, I wouldn't have guessed that it had been written and rehearsed within that day. Like, great. There was, I mean, like, even just from, like, your nose choreography.
My nose choreography? I specialize in nose movement. If anyone wants...
Put it on the resume.
I'm putting it on my resume.
I think it's just really fun to, like, jump into, you know, and, like, dive headfirst. I wonder what that process was like.
Yeah, it was really funny. So for the monologues, they sent us, like, an email being like, record a video with you know, where you are, because we had to record the monologue ourselves. Like, I literally just recorded it on my phone.
Self-tape.
Like literally it felt like a self-tape. They were like, show us where you could be, show us some costume ideas, some prop ideas, any special skills you have, and something that you've always wanted to do. Wow. And they're like, we may or may not incorporate these. Like, this is just to know, like, a little bit about you, since you're going to be doing it all by yourself. For the writer to know. And I was sort of, like, kind of trolling it. Like, in a way, I was just like, I have this, like, weird, massive jacket, and I have this, like, little... Like, I was just showing things in my room. Like, I was like, this is silly. This is what I got. This is what I got. And as a joke, I was like, I've been told that I, like, have a great nostril flare. And then I can confirm. And I get this monologue, and it's all about my nostrils. It's like, okay. Great. But it was so fun. And Indy did a wonderful job.
So that's how that character came?
Literally. I was just like, I have a great nostril flare. And I, like, did some nostril flares. And, like, she liked it. And, that's essentially what I guess she ran with. I'm not sure what her process was like, but I'm sure, obviously, that influenced it. And then we got the monologue, and we had, I think, 5 or 6 hours. Oof. Yeah, it was short for the monologues. To got it, you know, learn it, memorize it, and then record it. but that was weird because it's like we didn't have a director. It was just us. And so I was like, this is it, you know, like this is the choice that I'm just rolling with. And so it was a lot of like second guessing. Obviously, I didn't have anyone to like give me any kind of feedback.
Yeah.
Even from the writer, like I didn't know what she was envisioning, and so
had you met her? Have you collaborated with her before?
No.
Oh,
All of these, the 24-hour plays. A lot of it is like new connections, like like a lot of the artists are. I mean, some people I guess know each other, but a lot of us were coming into it like fresh, you know, not knowing anyone, which was really exciting and lovely, and like met so many great people who I'm very excited to now work with.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But it was really fun. But it takes like a lot of like, what's the word? Just I guess a confidence in like my artistry to be like, this is. Whatever I'm doing this is right, because this is what I was given, and this is me, and this is what you're gonna get.
Wow.
So it was fun.
Do you enjoy like improv based work? I was gonna say, I feel like that's definitely something that I've worked with you on. And like, you know, like it's so much more fun that way.
It is fun,
even if it can be very scary and very like. It wasn't amazing, but it was something.
But it was something.
Yeah.
I think what feels good about improv is that there really is there's no one way that it's gonna go. It's you make it up, and so like with a script, it's like. You know, this is what's laid out for you, and there's a little bit of an expectation, almost, I would say, or like an assumption that of how it should go. And what's nice about improv is that you make that, and so you have a lot of freedom. It's improvised.
A lot of freedom, a lot of like just in the moment, presence. You know.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of improv recently.
Neither have I, except with myself.
Right, always, every single day I talk to myself, and that's improv. My improvised monologue. But I should get back into that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe. But it's hard to do when like there's not other people around. Like I really miss just like being at RME and like setting up a table. Yeah. I think it was in Giulia's class. We just like played around with the table and that ball. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And like just like. Figuring out in the moment like what we can do with the space as a team. I really missed that. I was like looking up some classes at Second City, like trying to figure out if I could do any of them in person. A lot of them are online, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm sorry.
It's no. It's
you know.
I don't know. Some people have really connected to, I guess, online work, but I'm with you on that.
It's just not doable for improv. I feel like it's. Yeah, like being there is like such an important tool. I don't know.
Well, there's also a lot, because you don't have anything choreographed, you don't have anything set. You need to be able to readily communicate with people.
Totally. Yeah.
And that obviously is very limiting online. Like that's just fact.
Yeah.
And so like a slight movement in someone's body can indicate so much. And when you're in person, you can feel that and you can pick up on that and use that to like propel you to do something. But if you don't have that, it's like you're improvising with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is defeats the purpose of like being in a class.
Well, and like I find when I'm on Zoom, like I'm not looking, like I don't know where to look. I don't know if I should look in the camera or if I should be looking like at the bottom left corner where like my scene partner is, or like, you know, like it's like it actually isn't, it doesn't help with like reaction, like you're saying, like that quick reaction skill to that for me is so much about improv and like listening. And I don't know, if I can't see the person, their full body, it doesn't allow me as the artist as well to like help the space.
Yeah. Now I'm just reminiscing about Army and improv.
All right. That was such a nice moment.
It was really fun.
But yes, you have other projects you've been working on. So many, like, okay, let me get my words together. So this EP, Night Before.
Yes.
This is your, like, debut, right?
My debut.
Oh, that's so cool. I wonder what it was like to, like, actually finish it. Like, say, like, you know what? This is it. I'm done.
You know, a lot of the songs on there have been, like, years, 2 to 3 years of, like, do I like it? Do I don't like it? I'm changing it. I'm going back and I'm adjusting, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I was getting so sick of the songs, like so sick of them. I was like, if I don't release them now, I am never going to. They're just going to stay buried in my...
I'm so sorry.
No, you're so fine.
Mother,
okay. How dare you? They're just going to, like, stay buried in my library for... on my computer forever and ever. Yeah. So, but it was scary. I, like, didn't want to, I was sick of them. So I was like, these songs are bad. Like, at the time of releasing them, that I had so much doubt about them. Yeah. When I first wrote them, I was, like, loving them. But then, months go by and you're just like, or for me at least, like, I was hating them, some of them. And so it was, like, pulling myself out of this, like, state of, like, self-deprecation and just being like, just fucking do it and move on. Yeah. Like, you just have to do it and move on. So difficult. And I was like, I'm better than this. Like, these songs are not even that good, and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I have to, like, let that go. And this is part of me. And this is not all of me. It is just a little tiny sliver. And I am, it doesn't, if I don't feel like these songs represent who I am now, then they don't, it's just, they're just songs. They're just things that I wrote and whatever. Like, I just had to be so, like, not precious with them. Because the more precious I was getting, the more I was like, this is no one's ever going to hear these ever. And then, like, all the work that I did is just going to be for nothing. And I didn't want that. Yeah. So...
Wow, that's difficult.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's difficult to just say, like, okay, this is now for the audience. Yeah. Especially after working on them for two years.
Yeah, and it was weird even to, like, all right, so I'm in this state of, like, I don't like them. And then, to pull myself out of that and then to almost tell people to go listen to them felt so weird to me. Yeah. And it's like... Why would I tell people to go listen to these songs? I don't want to listen to these songs. Right. And so I've had, like, I'm just going back and forth, like, for so long. Yeah, it was bizarre. But that's kind of what, we have to do as, like, independent artists is, like, promote ourselves even if we don't feel like it's, I guess, our best work. It's still work. And it's still, it still deserves to be heard and to be seen, even if we don't feel that. Yeah. And so I just had to tell myself that a lot. And I'm good. I'm in a good place now. Good. But, I mean, at the time of releasing them, I was very, like, ugh. Yeah,
rocky road.
Yeah. But it feels good.
Good.
Yeah.
You finally feel like you're, like letting go of your babies.
And now that I've done that, I feel like I can listen to the songs again and like appreciate them a bit more and just be like, whatever, like cute. Like I love it for what it is. And I loved who I was when I wrote that. And I love how much I've grown. And that,
Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, of course.
I know a lot of people have gone through that too.
Yeah, it's like... It's hard to constantly sell yourself to people when you don't feel that way about yourself. Something I'm constantly struggling with, and so
same.
Yeah, of course, and so
especially when work is so personal too. Like as I'm listening to it myself, like I really feel like I am stepping into your bedroom or your,
Thank you.
Because I think you've opened up so many doors of your, like you're saying, like just parts of your personality, not your entire life. But I think as a singer and as a songwriter yourself too, like writing about your own experiences can be very traumatizing, and then having to listen back to them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would be able to sit there and just sort of like step away from it and like listen rather than like, oh my God, I said this and my breath was weird on this part. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that's very admirable to be able to like open up yourself to the audience. But I absolutely love these songs. Like, I was telling you that I've been listening to it on repeat because it's like, I really enjoy the intrapersonal, you know, really like autobiographical stuff.
Yeah. I mean, me too. Like, I love writing them. It's just obviously like when you sit with them and like you said, scrutinizing like, why am I talking about this? And people are going to hear this, and like, what is this going to make me look like? And what, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I don't know. You can't think of that, or you'll never create anything.
Yes.
So
hell yeah to that.
Yeah.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. Let's get a little bit more particular about it.
Sure.
Lonestar is this beautiful, like, sort of cowboyish, folksy, like, it's like something I don't think I've ever heard from you in the past. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. That one I actually, Lonestar, I think Lucky Ones too, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Lucky Ones was the last one I wrote because it was about the pandemic, kind of. But Lonestar I also wrote during the pandemic, I think, when I was home. And my dad produces my songs, and we work together, and like we have a studio at home, and
Fantastic.
that's where we produce and write and stuff.
I love that.
And he has this instrument called a dobro. I don't know if you've heard of it. Dobro. But that's the guitar that you hear on the song that sounds so, like, it's so unique. It's such a unique,
very much,
like, cowboy-y Western sounds. And I played him the song, and he, like, picked up the dobro and was, like, soloing over, like, my chords and me singing. And I was like, that is perfect. Like, that is, I want it to feel like you're in this big open space of grass and you're just like staring at the stars and you don't know what the heck, you don't know where you are, you don't know what's happening in your life. Yeah, like so lonely but so content with being lonely. And I feel like that sound was so like, it set that ambiance so perfectly. And so that one came together like really quick because as soon as he like picked up that guitar and I heard that sound, I was like, yes, let's do it. And we recorded it and it was like,
wow.
Yeah. That one flowed really nice in terms of like how we recorded it. Yeah, but I'm glad you enjoy that one. I really like that. Yeah.
And the music video too. I really like. I love that big structure you're in.
It's actually a bee dome.
It's a V dome.
A
bee dome. What does that mean?
Yeah, like bees.
Oh, bees. Oh,
like bees.
Right. I'm just an idiot. Yes. Wow, it looks like a hive.
Yeah. It's something I believe. Don't quote me on this, but like, it was on a farm.
Okay.
And there were no bees in it, but I think something about like helping them like procreate and like make more bees. So I don't really even know. Someone said it and I like overheard. I don't even know. I don't know where I was, but it's good. Save the bees, you know.
Totally.
I'm like, I don't even know where I was, but yeah, very random.
Were you in Texas?
No, I was in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, no, that was in Hudson. That was in New York.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But the rest of it, I think, was shot in Massachusetts.
Gotcha. Yeah. When you were on like the truck and everything.
Yeah. That was Massachusetts.
That's so interesting. Because I wonder too, with like the themes of loneliness and kind of like, there's this word sonder. Do you know that word?
Yes.
And it's like when you look out and see everyone's lives and you realize everyone has like their own individual story and you kind of feel lonely but also like warmed by it.
Yeah.
I feel like with that structure like kind of enclosing on you as you're moving, like that theme is like, it's kind of, it feels like the architecture of it is like a big hug or like a blanket or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
I really like that.
That's what I got.
And that makes sense too, I feel like, because I edited that video.
Yes.
And my friend Ruthie directed, and she's brilliant, she's great. But we didn't really have a plan going into it of like how, you know, the arc of it. And so I did a lot of all of that in the editing and like figuring out what the story was going to be. And I ended up starting and like with me in all of these big open spaces, and the latter half of it was me in this dome. And I feel like that makes sense of like feeling this loneliness, and then towards the end sort of being comforted by it. And the comfort sort of could be the dome.
Could totally see that. Could totally see that.
And that let that be the arc of the video.
Yeah.
Which I'm really glad that you share that perspective, because that kind of makes sense with like what I was thinking. So I really like that.
It definitely came across. And
Beautiful.
even in your movement too, like you know, like as you were solo moving, like I'm assuming it was improv based. Yeah. So like just like kind of as your arms are going around your head, like kind of comforting yourself, like that movement for me was also very on that theme, that same sort of theme of just like isolation, but you know, self-love.
Yes. So, very much so.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's a very beautiful song too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean the other songs too, like, well, totally like off track from that is Baby Dyke.
Yeah.
Like so cheeky, so cheerful.
You know, people are like, what genre is this EP? I'm like, you know, just fun.
Like everything.
Everything sad, happy, everything in between, I don't know.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yeah. It's hard to, you know, box yourself in. Just kind of do everything that you want. So Baby Dyke is completely like, I don't know where she came from, but definitely the most poppiest thing I've ever poppy, but like just the most like upbeat and like
it's the keyboard for me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, oh, my shoulders just want to shimmy and everything.
Good, let him shimmy. That one was fun. That actually, so the bed track for that song, I initially wrote it as a completely different song, and we recorded it. It was like mixed, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like find that these lyrics, that this story is doing anything for me.
Okay.
And my dad was like, okay, but I love, you know, this track. And I was like, yeah, no, I like this track too. I don't want to get rid of the track. And so I just like rewrote over top of it, and I wrote Baby Dyke.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, this feels more it. This feels, you know. So it was a bit of a different kind of like writing process, but I'm really glad I did, because I'm like the song a lot better than it was.
Was the original song also like touching on like sexuality?
Not at all.
No,
it was like random. I don't know where I got it from. It didn't feel it just was. It wasn't like, I think maybe personal enough. Like it just was something more generic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I'm just throwing it away if I just continue with this song, and I feel like it can be better. And so
well, it turned out really fun.
Baby Dyke, she was really fun, and the video was a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, the video. I love that moment when you walk into the bar and your face just like, it's like what? All of these beautiful women.
It was so fun. It was really just like, I didn't even know that bar is like around the corner from my apartment.
Okay.
And my roommate filmed it, and my other roommate and my close friend. It was basically us four.
Oh wow.
Like pulled it out of nowhere, and we were just like talking about it, and like we were literally sitting outside of the bar, and we were like, oh my god, we should just do it here, and blah blah blah, and we should do this and this and this and this, and I was like, oh my god, and I should wear this and blah blah blah, and it just kind of, and it was just so exciting and fun. And then we literally filmed it like 2 days later. Like we just like punched that out like so quick, and it was just so exciting, I think, because it was so quick and so fun, and like I just rolled with like any idea, and I was like, that is so ridiculous, put it in. Like let's just I don't want it to really even make sense. Like I just want people to be like having a good time watching it and making it. So I mean that came so across like 100%.
Cause it's just like, it's the, you know, it's the bar life and the like the sparkly like glitter that you have on your face and like when you're sitting on the bar table and you're just like throwing with the microphone and everything, it's like, like that is kind of, I don't know, for me, like that's all what like being young and like sexually active is all about, like just like going for it and like, I don't know if it's like completely about that, but for me, like as I'm watching it, like I really feel like just a sense of like, okay, like I can be, you know, a bit more fluid with my sexuality. I can choose to, you know, go on the scale this way or that way. Like, I don't know.
For sure. I mean, I think the story there, if there was even one, is like this, okay, you see this woman walk into a bar and, you know, she enters it and this is a whole other side of her that she's like free to just explore and whatever. And then she leaves and it's still her, but she's tainted a little bit, like I have when she leaves, there's like baby dyke on the whatever, and it's just jacket. Like a little part of her that's now with her, you know, but she's still the same person.
Oh wow, okay.
So that was kind of like
I see.
the I guess where I what I was thinking about when I was making it. But yeah, there's a lot of just like there's an experimentation allowed of like I don't know who I am, and I can figure it out. Like I don't have to know. Yeah. I can like allow myself the fun to figure it out and the opportunities to figure it out. And that's what the bar was. It's just the space to do that. So
that's so wonderful. A nice anthem.
Yeah. A queer anthem.
Yeah. You know, like just letting ourselves be free. Yeah. You know, I feel like that's a really important part of growing up, and yeah, I mean, like it still has those like jazzy, very like syncopated rhythms, but I would dance to that at the club for sure. You know, like just to really feel free and liberated. I think that's really dope.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you feel that way.
I'm glad you shared it with us too. Like,
of course.
And all of the people who were in it, are they all? You said they're all your friends, right?
Yeah,
that's
friends
fantastic.
and yeah, just it was really just like the funnest set.
Oh,
like,
that's great.
Yeah.
That's
funnest.
So
is that a word? It is now.
It is now.
It is now.
Yeah, we make up a lot of words on this podcast.
It's your favorite thing to do.
And then one of my favorites, like absolute like heartbreaking, like just punch me in the face, why don't you? Songs is Moon Please, the demo. I told you, like it just like it really makes me cry, like in some sort of way, not always like a sobbing.
Yeah.
Tell me about that song for you.
Yes, so I actually wasn't even going to include that one on the EP.
What?
I know.
No!
Because it was a demo and because it was just like something I recorded in my room and it was very like...
Ew.
Didn't sound finished. It didn't sound like, you know, like much, but it has such a special place in my heart, and so I ended up including it, and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah.
There's a very personal story to it, so I don't know if I could share it on here. I'll share it with you personally for sure.
Yeah, you can do it off air for sure.
But I guess just like speaking to someone who is no longer here through the moon, you know, at night. Just there was a lot of you know, around the time I wrote it a few years ago. I want to say like 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And around the time I like wasn't sleeping a lot, and I was just like, I don't know, just thinking about. I was thinking a lot at night.
Yeah.
And I wrote it at night. Like I wrote the lyrics, and I like recorded it, I think, the next day. And it was really just for me like what goes through our mind when the sun goes down, and when we're alone, and when we're, I don't know, I guess longing to talk to someone but we can't, and sort of like the conversations that we have with ourselves. and like
there's something so like friendly about the moon in some ways.
Yeah.
Because it's not like blinding to look at like the sun is.
Yeah.
I feel like too, like there's a wonderful picture every single night of like seeing this glowing circle.
It's a very like hopeful circle.
Yeah.
There's something about it that's so like inviting, but in like a mysterious kind of way.
Yeah.
That always intrigues me.
Wow, I hadn't thought about it until now, actually. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and so, you know, we always talk to the moon.
I know. Oh my gosh. And it's a source of inspiration.
Yeah.
That's very like relatable. I feel like, I mean, there's a lot of insomnia nights that I have where it's just like, I'm just looking up and I'm like looking for something.
Something. That's,
something. It's there's the ether up there, and obviously like what the hell even is outer space,
we don't know.
like it's like that moment where I can really just like, how can I communicate right now, because everyone's asleep and like I'm alone at my bed, like I'm not sleeping right now. I need something, that longing.
It's sort of a comfort.
Yeah absolutely.
So that was kind of that one.
Funnily enough, I haven't listened to it at night though. Which maybe I'll do tonight.
Maybe you should.
See if that's different. I listened to it like on the subway, and I was like crying next to someone. I was
sorry,
like,
that was really odd. That's so funny.
It was fantastic. No. And it also like it has that like 6/8 waltz to it. Like gosh, like it's like a lullaby in every fantastic way.
I'm happy you use that word because as soon as you said it, I was like about to say it. But I haven't ever thought of that before. You stole it from me. How dare you?
Sorry.
No, but that's I love that, because that is what it is to me almost. And but after I recorded it, I would listen to it at night, and it was a lullaby. It was like helping me fall asleep. You know, it like was so calming and reassuring, but there was a sadness to it that I knew, because I knew what I was, singing about. But yeah, something still so hopeful, like a lullaby. So it's a really beautiful way to put it. I like that one.
I'm so
going to describe it as that now.
Yeah, take it. Steal it.
It's the lullaby.
Steal it
from the EP.
Yeah, it's one of the songs that definitely stood out. A lot of them are just so, like we're saying, like that personal connection to you. And I think, I don't know, I think everyone should listen to it if they're looking for, a real truthful story.
Yeah. You heard that, guys?
Did you hear that?
Listen to it.
Fucking listen to it. Is the best way to do it on like SoundCloud or something, or
it's on Spotify and,
yes.
and Apple Music and all of the whatever.
Do you get paid for that if I stream it?
Yeah.
Is that the best way?
I guess so. Very tiny amounts.
No.
But yeah, I guess. No, but
just gotta keep repeating it.
It's fine. You can't do it for the money or you'll make none. So,
that's true.
So yeah,
it's so true.
But
because I want to I know you're even on Tidal too. Like I want to make sure that it's going to you.
It does go to me.
Yeah.
It's just small. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm not imagining I'm going to sell out stadiums, so I'm not too.
Listen,
I'm not too upset.
I would definitely come. I'll dance for you.
You would dance.
Do you need a backup dancer?
Sure.
For Baby Dyke?
Absolutely.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's just shoulders the whole time. I'm into it. It's great.
No, I think it's wonderful that you're able to put this out and really share it with us.
Thank you.
And as you've been putting out singles, over the past few years, it's really, really, really exciting as your friend to see something, finished and
thank you.
Done. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Yeah. I have some other songs that I'm working on, and
okay.
I would like to release them before the end of the year.
Fantastic.
For sure. Some of them are ready enough. A little bit different. I'm trying a little more electronic-y.
Love it.
Just trying it out.
Yeah.
Just seeing what's out there.
Mm-hmm. Did your dad help you a lot with the process? Or?
Me and my dad are still making some songs. And we actually are working today, and I think we'll continue this week. But I have a friend in New York who is a wonderful producer, and
awesome.
We've made some stuff together. So, yeah.
I imagine those collaborators are like key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not even just for like their talents. I mean, you can find there's many talented producers, but it's just also someone who creates an environment that is comfortable.
Yeah.
For you to write a song, you know, like it's
display your guts out.
Yeah, and it's also like a lot of times I'll write something and be like, this sounds really horrible, but I have to do it in order to know that it sounds horrible. And if I feel like someone's like being a little bit judgy or just like not welcoming of like ideas, then it just like completely stifles the process. And so it's a balance. I feel like that the environment that is created is almost even more important than the capabilities of either artist. You know, it's like you need a really safe and like exciting space. So
to be able to be vulnerable.
For sure. So that's
that's so cool though.
Key,
Yeah. So you're writing, things are coming.
Not yet though. I guess I just, after releasing the EP, I kind of was just like wanted to like go under a rock and just like lay.
So fair.
So I haven't thought about like legitimate or like when I'm going to release it and what it's going to be and blah blah blah. Like I'm kind of just like still in the process of like creating and like not stressing about the release. Like releasing music for some reason is just like so stressful because there's so much that goes into it like beforehand, and it's like I don't know, it's just I also haven't like mastered the process yet. Like a lot of independent artists have like a very good they've got their schedule down and they know who exactly they're sending it to and blah blah blah, and like there's
deadlines,
a whole and I just like don't have that yet, and I feel like I just like have to be more patient with myself, and so I'm not even letting myself think about that yet. Good.
I will not ask that.
So no, it's okay. But
I'm glad to hear though that you're in process.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
that you're staying inspired. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, kind of. There's been a lull, like you were saying. Like I feel like I've been in that a little bit, but it will pass.
It will.
So
it's funny how like lulls will happen without me even realizing it. And then I'm like kind of creating like half-heartedly because I'm just like not really there. I think it has to do a little bit with my mental health too, but like just because of so much change in this past 18, 20 months, whatever it's been, like
that's so many months.
Right? Like it's like time doesn't exist and therefore I don't, and how can I create if I don't exist? But like at least you're still going, you know? Like I think even if it's like totally nothing's happening and you're just writing one word a day, like that's something, you know?
Yeah, I had this like crazy idea like a few weeks ago. I was like, I'm gonna write one song a day. Do you think I've written one?
A day?
A day.
Oh gosh.
I was like, even if it's bad, I'm just gonna write one a day.
Wow.
I have not even written one. I was like, okay, well,
it like takes me a week to write a chorus, like fully.
No, but then like I know, and I just know that I'm just not. It's just not the time, because when I do write, like I could, like I've gone through periods where I'm like writing, and I always have things, whatever, and I'm just excited, but I'm just not in that. And if I'm like gonna force it, then it's not. Even now, when I'm writing with my dad this week, and it's just not coming like as easily, and I'm like, that's okay. I can take some time.
Totally.
I can take. Usually I'm like, I gotta write it in like 30 minutes because I know I can. But I'm like, I can take 2 days to like figure this out, and that's okay.
That is okay.
That's just where I'm at.
Exactly.
And I don't have to feel like I'm a bad artist for it.
Not at all. There's no rule book for like how a song needs to get done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A song or piece or anything for that
really.
matter.
Yeah.
So,
very true. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
We're about to wrap up, but I do want to give you a chance to plug anything that you have, any kind of projects. I know you're not totally bringing anything out, but where can people find you for the stuff that you have made?
Well, like I said, all my music is on all of the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal you mentioned, it's on there. SoundCloud too, it's on SoundCloud. Anywhere. I'm on Instagram, which is just my name, Giulia D'Angelo. That's basically it. I'm not really on all the other, don't have other social medias. Sorry, that was really boring. I don't really have much to plug right now.
No, it's always a weird question, but I want to make sure that I don't, speak for you.
No, thank you.
I'll link all of that below too, so people can check it out. Last question though.
Yeah.
Julia.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I know what you're gonna say. So Giulia for music is Giulia with a G. Giulia. Period. Don't forget. But my name is just Giulia, Julia.
Is this a stage name? Is it a...
Yeah, so my family's Italian, and my brother and my sister have very Italian names with the Italian spelling. And I don't. I have like the like American spelling or the non-Italian spelling of Giulia.
Right.
And I just always wanted that sort of spelling for my name, but I don't want to like change my name. I don't really care that much. And so I was like, this feels like a good opportunity to do that. And I was like, I'm not going to do like a whole other name, like a stage name, because I don't know what the heck I would do. And like, I feel like I would just be like fishing for a name at that point. And this one like came to me immediately, and I was like, this feels right. And so, yeah, Giulia with a J and Giulia with a G. They're both me. So
I will make sure to put both so people know where to find you. I think that's very interesting because in my own life too, I like recently am trying to like just go towards being called Bri.
Bri, sorry, I did call you Brandt,
No.
and I was like, that feels weird. I feel like I've never called you that.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like I don't know. I think it's partly for me. It was just a moment of like, my name is like too long, and like it's literally 3 syllables.
Right.
Like why? My name is also like 2 names in one because Anna is also a name. But I do find it's hard to like explain that to people.
Right.
And I wonder too with like your music, like just knowing that like you are like a separate entity from, your music is a separate entity from you. I wonder if it's like a nice way to just sort of like take those 2 things and separate them, or
it kind of is for me. I don't know. I don't know if like separate entity is the right way to describe it.
I mean, it's still you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is. I don't know. Maybe it's even like a bit of a. This is gonna sound so weird, and maybe it's not even true, but it's just something that's coming to mind. But it might even just be a little bit of like imposter syndrome, or like.
I was gonna say the same thing for me. Like literally.
Just like. I don't know. Like it's I don't even know how to describe that, but
well, and there's so much to a name, right? Like I don't know. I won't ask more about it, but I'm just like very curious because I also am like, I think I just want to be called Bri, and like obviously my mom still calls me Brianna, and like people who I've known for very many years know me as Brianna too, like you. So it's like, why would I like demand that of people? However, I also want to make it clear that like I feel better being called Bri. Like that feels better
but
for
I
me.
think that's totally okay. And I don't think you have to. I don't think there needs to be an explanation.
Right. There you go.
There doesn't have to be at all.
Yeah. Same for you.
Thank you, Bri.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making time.
Absolutely. This is wonderful.
It's so nice to see you and catch up and just like know that you're still alive and creating.
I am still alive and creating, crazily enough. But
please come back anytime.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to plug or promote next time we record, I'd love to have you back.
I'll have some more things hopefully that I'm doing.
Oh my God, look at all this. It's so much. You have so much going on. I really appreciate your willingness to share and be open about everything too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
you so much for listening to the Art Versations podcast. Please help the podcast community continue to grow by clicking subscribe or follow on your podcast platform and leave a review. As well, follow the podcast on Instagram at ArtVersationsPod. You'll find photos of the guest you just heard, plus highlights and quotes from each episode. Let's keep the art versation going. Send in a DM with your thoughts about art and any questions you might have for guests. Special thank you goes out to Jen Marquez and Maxim Bartnowski for their contributions. And thank you, listener. Till next time.